Hey, Gary Erickson here of Erickson G Architects. Here we are with the third installation, Old Drawings 3, and we're going to go through theme parks today. And with us we have a special guest spot this time, and it is Jubix Pics on Instagram. That's Jubix Pics, and it's Julia Bonomo, who's actually works next door in the tattoo shop. She does an amazing job doing these renderings. I thought it'd be nice to have one in our corner for luck. It's a mermaid. She's holding a crystal. I can't think of anything luckier. So she's going to be looking over us as we go through a few drawings here. Well, number one is something we left you with last time, which is the lobby in a theme park in the middle of Saudi Arabia. This is for the Saudi royal family. And the issue with this one is a very high space. It's a prism. And there's prisms hanging from the ceiling. The whole thing is based on crystals. There's various shapes of arches and squares, portals into this central lobby space. There's a reception desk, and you're going to see a high fantasy mirror in the background. Of course, there's lots of gold everywhere. This is the Middle East, and gold is a theme in the Middle East. There is an elevator lobby, all in gold, of course, gold finishes, obviously not real gold. And outside is a screen of window mullions, and you're going to see a castle which has been carved out with openings so you can see out and people can of course see in. A real castle will be kind of strange looking in the middle of a theme park. This one is going to have turrets and thank you again. Turrets and masonry and beautiful medieval-esque decorations on it. We have one of those images for you next. So this is on the lower level of the rendering. Maybe we'll see some other visions of this later. I have a few of these. This is a board done by IBI Group, and they have precedent images from the area. The top right-hand one is called a wadi. It's a low-lying water level area, very important feature. And they have some indigenous architectural styles, and of course we're going to use those. And we're going to use everything, everything we can. At the very bottom are the desert colors and desert features. So here's the rendering, and it tries to integrate those ideas into images. Now this is just one of the, I'll just show one today. Later on we have lots of time. Palm trees from the palm trees. We're going to have solid walls. We're going to have little openings. We're going to have, but our castle is going to have huge elliptical portals in it. More like a fantasy or dream imagery, more than a real castle back in the day. Now, of course, you got a horse and rider. Horses, Arabian horses, very important. A pond, reflecting pool, different views. A moat that goes inside the castle, and it has a drop-off area. A lot of intrigue going on here. If any of you played Assassin's Creed, you know what I'm talking about. So this is a fantasy rendering. Okay, it's going to get you down on the ground, looking at things best you can. Now, I only have, of course, very little time, not even time to color this. I just black and white sketch with a simple pen on a piece of trace paper and floated on to, I think it was Illustrator. This board was done with beautiful type and text and layout. So the next one is another theme park. This one is change of scene. This one is in India. This is in Chandigarh, and this was a job done for Forrec. I worked with Forrec for a while. This is a study in the entrance to the theme park. The entrance has the retail stores, so you can sell them things on the way in and sell them things on the way out. Well, these things they're selling are actually Canadian stores, which is interesting. In Chandigarh, they'd be interested in having Canadian stores. Well, I don't know if they're really eventually Canadian, but that is the theory. There's a La Senza, there's a Mango, the typical Canadian stores you would have in a mall. They wanted them in this exterior mall. So the top is a classical kind of layout. You're going to have a plan with its columns and its grid and its stores laid out. And you see that round cylinder? Well, that's below in purple. There's a round cylinder seen in elevation. These are all drafted, not hand sketched. They're drafted, but drafted very, gesturally. There's a tower. You can see that tower above and that round pool. It looks like a little jewel up there. It's a little ellipse, but this tower in elevation has LED screens with images like you would expect in a theme park. You're going to have a central feature. And I remember these because in the next rendering, you're going to see them in 3D. And walking down, you're going to have different kinds of entries, like this one's got stairs going up, and that's going to be, you'll look through to the sky beyond. And at the very end, in the theme park side, at the right, you're going to have palm trees, you're going to have stores and lookout, because there's going to be a huge landscape with lots of detail. And that's on the right in blue. Now this is on the other side of the street, because the street has two sides. So the other side of the street has a common vocabulary, but with different features. You get your basic logos. Now in Photoshop, you would just float these on. There are lots of tools in Photoshop to do different lighting and different effects for graphics. You're taking photographs and laying them up, be 3 stories high, and floating on different lettering across portals. Like there's a restaurant portal in the center, and it's got 3 openings. There's seating back there where you can sit and look out over the street. And landscape, always important, having landscape at grade. All around the trellis, there's going to be water features, there's going to be palm trees, there's going to be, lush vegetation. So that's the center spine of the city walk. So here, for the final rendering we're going to do today, this one I did by hand. It's just drafted quickly with a straight edge, and it's on top of a SketchUp model. So why? Well, because they wanted that, accuracy. The way Forrec does it, they do a lot of SketchUp models, and they use SketchUp models to design these complicated spaces. And everybody uses these SketchUp models as an underlay. Like when I sketch it, when I go over it, I pull out some of the details, and in the end, it all gets sprayed over. Now you notice this is kind of a sloppy job with the spray can, but this technique works great because it's not too precise. All it does is gives it a certain festive, multicolored, Smarties color kind of attitude, candy almost. And a number of these renderings across the board will look uniform because it's not going to be tight and shadowed and difficult. It's not going to create focus. It's just going to create a pattern. So you're going to get the idea, but it's going to be lines with some color assist. Okay, it's like a wash in Photoshop. Well, that's it for today. I'm going to do some aviation next time, just to break the pace. And these are going to be more serious planning airports, like this ARF here. We're going to get into it. Anyways, thanks for coming today. I really appreciate it. And thanks, Jubix Pix, for her fantastic rendering. Thank you. Bye.